Good evening and welcome. I'm on my own in the Zoom room today. uh, Gwen is busy sailing away, having a lovely break and a gap or a holiday away at the moment. So, so you've got me. However, she sent me the information about her cards, so I'm all queued up with that. And obviously, I've got my cards so that we can do a reading about this wonderful full moon. Also, we can we can kind of have a little chat about the energy that we're in. It's we've got the disruption of this full moon because it's a very powerful full moon, but I feel like what we're being asked to do is maybe look into forgiving ourselves, look into looking after ourselves, and look into trying to move our communication forward. So you may have been having quite a lot of restless nights. You may have been having dreams and thinking, what's all this about? We are in that sort of phase of clearing and cleaning. There are lots and lots of events going on in the world that influence the energy and create turbulence. And actually, it makes me smile with the idea of Gwen being away. At the moment, she's not got the internet, so she's not in touch with the land. She's on her boat, just heading where she needs to go. And that's a metaphor for all of us right now. Just keep focused on where you need to go. The energy is going to hit you from all sides. What we forget, tend to ignore, is that as human beings, we're all interconnected by the energy anyway, and it's like an ocean, so it's got currents. So you may have been feeling flat, you may have been feeling like, oh, nothing's going on. You may have been feeling the anger that's underpinning it all. You may, and the fear. We're faced with some really difficult stuff at the moment about how we behave as human beings, how we raise our vibration and get to a better level of unity and understanding. That how do we take out that superheated fear that's in the system, that's pushing us to act and react in ways that perhaps as individuals we don't want to. So here's our offering of a card reading for the next couple of weeks in this new full moon energy, which leads into a waning moon, so the moon shrinking it again. But it's a wonderful time for clearing out and for just getting yourself organized. And you might have felt the influence of this moon on a very practical level. Get out there and do things. They don't have to be big things. They don't have to appear meaningful or significant, but they are things that help you feel grounded, focused, and ready to live your life. I've been out in the garden. It's my go-to place when the world's all in a mush. And I've been tidying up and weeding and doing hedges and whatever, and getting prickles and whatever. We've got irritants in life. We've got things that irritate us, but those irritations don't have to become what drives us. What drives us can be loving that we are actually taking those little positive steps forward, and bit by bit, what emerges then is all the wonderful stuff. So I'm going to start with Gwen's cards, and her first card is from her C collection. I haven't got a packet of them, so I can't show you, unfortunately, but if you skip back, you'll find she does use them quite a bit. And the first card she had out of that pack was a beautiful card called Depth. It's under the water, in the ocean. There's a shoal of fish. Much like human beings, we're a shoal. We're all trying to swim. We're all trying to eat. We're all trying to create. And the card is reminding us that we've got to get into things. We've got to get deeper into things. Yeah, it's all right dipping a toe in the water, but if we want to move forward, we're actually going to say, okay, I'm going to put myself into this. So it's a beautiful card because it's reminding us. And water, symbolism of water is emotions. So understanding that we're actually being kind of nudged, pushed, immersed, chucked in the deep end of the emotions of life, and responding as best we can to the energy, the emotional energy that's flowing around us. And at this time, trying to release from ourselves the emotions and the feelings that get in the way of us moving forward. So when you think about that depth, we might be going into very old emotion, but that's okay, because we need to let that go to move forward. And it's only by recognizing it's there, letting it surface. So go into the depth. I'm thinking the card, this particular card, always makes me feel like I'm diving in and then I'm coming up to the surface. And I'm bringing with me something that I want to breathe out, because that exhale, when we break the surface and we can breathe again. So that's what's going on. That's coupled with the card. She's got a deck which is the Eyes of the Soul Oracle. Okay, now I've got that deck, but mine is slightly different. It's the same cards, but slightly different imagery. Oops, my picture's gone. There we are. Just slight differences in imagery. So what I need to look at is the very, oh, she got an extra card in there. Oh, she has. The very first card, which I'm going to try and find. This is the fun bit. Phone doesn't want to do what it doesn't want to do. Okay. Right. So this one is called Seek the Symbols and Decipher Their Meanings. So I'm just going to ad hoc find that card in mine, so that I can show it to you, because it's a very beautiful card. And oh, here it is. There we go. So seek the symbols so that you can decipher their meaning. And here she is, this very serene lady. She's sitting with a crystal ball, and in the crystal ball there's a Merkaba, beautiful green Merkaba. She's actually sitting in front of what looks like a pyramid. So we're looking at structures in our lives that are symbolic. One of the most stable structures is a pyramid or a triangle, and the Merkaba is made of two triangles interpenetrating. And for this card, what is going on for me is that right now we're being given hints and tips. Your dreams are full of symbols. The world is full of symbols, and it's about your guides kind of sending you little hints and tips, really. And if in this beautiful energy you can try to understand the messages that you're being given, the symbolic messages, we are trying to put the human race on a solid foundation, on a really effective and positive structure. And that may mean that we've got to accept the structures we've got in our lives. The patterns, the routines, the habits aren't quite the way we need them to be. And they're making us feel perhaps heavier or sluggish. So with this card, it is important to maybe have a look at what you're doing, how you are organising yourself, and see if there are some patterns in there that actually don't fit very well with what you'd like to do. that may make you feel like, right, I need to change this. I will be a steadier, stronger me if I rebuild the foundations, if I move things around. So again, it comes with that idea of diving deep, um, being the observer. I think that's the other thing about this lady in this card. She's observing, she's watching. And I think that's something maybe we don't do enough. So there is an opportunity over the next couple of weeks to step back and just observe yourself and others, and what our like default settings are, our factory settings. I love that term. Yeah, are our factory settings getting in the way of us doing what we hope to do? And then maybe we need to tweak them. So the second C card that Gwen got is the beauty card. And it's beautiful. There's a skyline reflected and clouds all reflected in a body of very peaceful water. And this card is about seeing nature's artistry, seeing the beauty of the natural world. I feel like this one comes in. We're part of a natural world, and sometimes we sort of think it lives out there, not alongside us, not even, we don't even recognize that the natural world is in us. Our food, it comes from the natural world one way or another. We need to start seeing the beauty that we've been gifted, because I think that's another issue for us. Are we really looking at the gorgeous things we've got and using that vision of beauty to remind ourselves we're beautiful too? And this full moon is wanting to bring that forward, and it sits very well with the second card from the Eyes of the Soul Oracle, which is lift the curse and forgive. There she is, she's got a horse over her shoulder. Now, horses are a strength. She's sort of got a cauldron, but it's, if you look at the cauldron, it's very much a globe. You know, what she's doing is she's trying to remind herself, and there's a sort of trumpet in that bottom. I feel like it's a cauldron. Spread the message, you know, take ourselves out of the doubt and the dismissal of ignoring what is happening, because this one, lift the curse, forgive, is it relates to lifting a curse of war. And we are currently very cursed with war, with aggression, with violence. As a human race, it seems we're faster to go out and hurt each other than we are to sit down and talk and resolve whatever is our issues. And so when we're thinking about the beauty we've been given, and yet we're fighting over things, being destructive, when we could actually come together and we could really sustain a fabulous, beautiful world. We can all, there is enough abundance in this world. We can all have everything we require and desire, but what we end up doing is kind of arguing who's got the most or who should have the most or whatever. So I think that it's important that we recognise with this shift of the waning moon that we're being asked to sort of pay attention to where we're choosing to make war, either with ourselves or with others. I don't mean that we're you know, going out thumping each other or hitting each other, but where are we even emotionally perhaps getting ourselves into fights, either internally or with others? Where are we not dealing with the underpinnings and voicing things early enough that it doesn't turn into being a war? We've got a beautiful world. Let's figure that out and not get distracted, basically. Um, so the final card from the Sea collection that Gwen's pulled for us is Hope. This is a beautiful card. It's got the horizon, it's got beautiful sunset going on. We're on a beach, the water is peaceful, and it says, may the horizon always sustain you. And I love this card because it's reminding us, keep that vision of the future. Whatever's going on for you now, just remember there's a future that's there to be had. You don't have to know exactly what the future is. It doesn't have to be, you know, glamorous or sorry, I've got that song from Wicked, popular. I want to be popular. You know, it doesn't. It's not about sort of the insubstantial, maybe pattern created desires. It's about what is for you going to be that best life. Keep that hope that what you can see up ahead is your best life, that you're taking those steps towards it. And it's interesting because that is mirrored or connected with Gwen's card from the Eyes of the Soul, and it's start anew, begin again. And here she is, she's a lovely mermaid. She's totally at home in her beautiful surroundings. She's standing in a shell, she's got dolphins, she's holding up the world. That's what's at the top of the picture. It's actually the world. She's diving into the calm waters, knowing that what we have is a global connection. We are connected. I mean, the dolphins keep trying to tell us we're a global species, you know, that we exist alongside each other and we exist in an ecosystem, which is why we've got to see the beauty of the world, of nature, of Mother Earth. We've got to see the gifts that we're given. And what's fascinating, what's lovely is she's in a shell, and that the earth is like the pearl coming out of the shell. And pearls are made from the coating that's grown onto gritty bits, you know, a bit of gritty sand, and it's layered and layered, and it becomes an object of so much beauty. And this is a reminder, this full moon, we are objects of beauty. And yes, we might have gritty bits in us, but it's the polish and shine that we bring. That's what's beautiful about our lives. That's what others see and recognize, even if we don't. So whenever we get this particular card, it's reminding you, you can change those patterns and routines. You can move away from what was. You can start again and begin again. You can have your rebirth. And I feel like that's a really powerful message of this moon, that we've been through a lot of polishing, a lot of rough stuff. That doesn't mean we're not going to emerge in our full beauty. So thinking about, you know, what is it that I can shine? What is it I can share? Now, Gwen picked an extra card, and I'm not even sure I've done it in the right order, but it doesn't matter. What Gwen picked was accept the opportunity that is offered. So there we are, starting anew, beginning again. We've got opportunity. The second half of the year is coming at us full on, and this beautiful full moon energy is reminding us, you know, we've got things we can ask for the universe about, and we are going to be, the signs and symbols of what we're getting are coming in. So it's kind of like bearing in mind what's what we've been desiring and requiring. And he's at the doorway, and she's got this beautiful chalice cup ready. You know, it can have everything, anything. We're on path, we're on the track. Keep going. And it's actually the doorway is the Glastonbury tour, um, and it's just reminding us we sometimes don't even notice when it's been delivered. So have a good look around at what's come into your life in the last few weeks. See where the shift has been happening and where some of the stuff that's been happening is making you feel better. It's helping you to cope with these waves of uncertainty that are around because the energy is turbulent. So really nice cards that Gwen picked and got to me. I'm using my Moonology cards. These are a big favourite of mine. And they're by Yasmin Bolland. And I also got drawn to my Rebecca Campbell Starseed Oracle as well. I feel like we're getting a lot of help from the heavens, the angels, the star beings at the moment. And I just want to acknowledge that with the cards I was encouraged to pick. So I'm just going to give them a little shuffle, and then we'll see what else, what other layers of meaning are here for us, because that's what's doesn't want to go out. That's what using different packs of cards does. That's what having two readers does. It gives you different layers of meaning, and maybe focuses your attention on different aspects that we're busy dealing with or working through. And sorry, I've got somebody saying, well, sometimes we just like to give you plenty of symbols. So a lot of cards is a good way of doing that. So let's have a little look at these and see what we've got. So the first set I've got, the first one is last quarter moon in Venus. There she is. The total waning of that moon. Sorry, in Virgo. Venus came in there. Bless her. A bit of love. We shed a bit of love for everybody. This particular card is all about attending to detail. When we're trying to make energy move out and onwards, we sometimes have to tie up the loose ends. So over the next couple of weeks, you may be being prompted to, well, I know I have been prompted to clear up your clutter on your computer or in your room. It may be that your emotions that are surfacing are the old stuff that you need to forgive yourself and get gone. We're all right at forgiving others, more or less. We're rubbish at forgiving ourselves. And I do feel like this moon is making us notice, come on, let yourself off the hook. Nobody's perfect, not anybody. And what we need to do is clear our sacral and solar plexus chakras, which is why I'm in orange and yellow. We're clearing that connection between ourselves and others. Sacral is our sense of I am. Solar plexus is you are. I am, you are. And that's a relationship that's often fraught with difficulty because we're not very clear with each other and we don't actually perhaps pay attention to each other. And this is the issue for the human race right now. We're busy doing sacral and solar plexus work. We're having to clear our relationships. And as one of Gwen's cards said, it's not about war. We're having to sort of get our act together as beings who live in this beautiful ecosystem. So attend to the details. Have a good clear out. Have a good cry if that's what it needs to clear some of those energies out. Do your angry dance. I have a fabulous angry dance I do when I need to release. So yeah, getting stuff out and away. And remember, you're not carrying the weight of the world. Here she is floating in water. One of the most peaceful things I can think of is floating in a pool of water, because you're not in control. You've surrendered to the water. So you've surrendered to the emotional flow, and you're letting everything float away from you. In fact, a meditation to float away, let things float away, is a brilliant one to do at the moment, because it's about boundaries. You're not carrying the responsibility for everything. You really aren't. You've you've got to identify the stuff that's not yours to carry, and then let that drift away, both mentally and emotionally. I feel like this moon's a big prompt for us to release that weight of the world, and let us bring it back to our own individual personal responsibility. What can I do? Which is far more helpful than what can they do, or what are we going to do, which is often the discussion we end up in. My second set of cards is Honor Your Feelings. So you can see it's a very emotional moon. We had an emotional full moon because it was in Cancer. Here we are in Capricorn, dealing with more emotion. So the first quarter moon in Pisces. Pisces is the spiritual end of the zodiac. When we get to Pisces, the stuff we're learning, if you're born a Pisces, the stuff you're learning is usually about spiritual matters. And one of the key parts of integrating and being a whole human being is honouring your feelings. So you may be being reminded of the times you haven't honoured your feelings, and you may be being brought to, especially in dream, right, how do I feel about that? What's the feeling of this dream? And allowing kind of that opening of your heart. It's all about, when we honour our feelings, our heart chakra really blossoms. And that's important if we're going to get that balance between I am and you are right. Okay, the card that's matched with that is the Golden Children. Okay, we we forget we come here and we're pure. We're pure spirit. We are light itself. When we're born, this is what we are. And what's part of honouring your feelings is reminding yourself of your inner child. Your inner child is still there, still going, oh, this and all that. Your inner child is trying to show you the way back to that purity, that innocence. This card is about being tender, being nurturing. This is about recognizing one of the blessings we have as a human race is that we can be tender or kind or empathetic to each other, that we've got these beautiful gifts of love that we can give to one another, little parcels of love. So it's about remembering, where you came from is pure love, and helping yourself over the next couple of weeks to take on board as much of that pure love message or that pure love energy as you can. And honouring that child with what I love about when I'm doing my art, it's because I go into that playful, my art's never serious. I can't, in fact, produce anything if I'm serious, or if the energy is heavy, or the weight of the world is on me. I have to be playful, and that's a reminder to us that part of our human nature is that inner child that loves to play. And whether it's playing in Mother Earth, whether it's playing art or music or writing, the fact is, when we are at play, we are far more responsive emotionally to each other. So My last cards, I've got the last quarter moon in Capricorn, because we're in a Capricorn full moon, of course. This is a reminder to us. There she is, standing in a field, just looking at that fabulous moon. But it's a reminder, leave the past behind. I think this ties in for me with weight of the world. A lot of the weight we carry is in the past. It's not even now, in the moment. It's not, it can't be in the future because that hasn't happened yet. What we carry is the past. And until we can let that go, we're stuck. And on a global level, that's the discussion we're having. It's all about the past. It's all about how things were, and people wanting to establish, you know, something that's rigid and it will always be as it was in the past. We can't. You can't turn back the clock. You can't go back to the 1950s or the 1890s. You know, we've got to recognise we're in the here and now, and carrying the things that were then. It's just wearying, really, really wearying. So in this next 2 weeks of the waning moon, clear it. We've had clear the clutter somewhere. I know we have, haven't we? Oh yeah, attend to the details. So the last card I've got is called Star Ancestors, and here we go. It's got the pyramids on it, just as we had on one of Gwen's cards. Yeah, the symbols, and see the symbols and decipher their meaning. Here we are. There's the pyramids again. This is a representation, a reminder. We've got star ancestry and star ancestors. You know, we're trying to recapture lost wisdom and hidden secrets, not conspiracy theories, but the human race has a lot of wisdom, but it's hidden from us. You know, when we listen to fairy stories, when we listen to legends and myths, in there are grains of truth. We just don't know which ones are the true ones, which is why we need to look for the symbols, because quite often that'll help us decipher those wisdoms and those ancient secrets. This card also says, look a little deeper. And again, it's reminding us of the depth card that Gwen brought up. To help us understand ourselves, to help us understand the world as it is today, to help us to understand why we've got to this kind of more fight than compromise state. We've forgotten how to collaborate. You know, it's within us all. The wisdoms are still there. We do have those wisdoms, and we've got the stories, the fairy stories and myths that help us to understand that. So just taking on board over the next few weeks that we may need to look at things with a view to history, to our ancient roots as human beings, and start to think about, yeah, why did our branch of humans evolve? Because there were other branches that didn't. And what was lost? We always assume that the Neanderthals or the Davidians were more backwards somewhere. And yet some of these people built pyramids. Some of these ancestors created the things that we wonder at today. So be open to, in this next couple of weeks, the wisdom surfacing in you. Be open to applying some wisdom to your choice about what you do with your patterns and how you move forward. We are in bumpy energy because on a world stage so much is going on, but that doesn't mean that we have to respond to that uncertainty with fear and division. What it means is we can recognize we live in an uncertain world, and then we can live each day, getting the benefit of anything that we can out of it. I'm missing Gwen, but I hope that between us we've managed to give you a little bit of encouragement to embrace this full moon energy, to do the work that's necessary to keep your eyes on the prize, that horizon, hope. You know, there's a bigger prize, which is all of us as a human race coming together, but there's also a personal prize. If we can learn not to carry the baggage, if we can learn to be kinder to ourselves, we will automatically be kinder to others. And if we can deal with the emotional flaws, recognizing the uncertainty creates wobble, but being structured like the pyramid's a solid base, then we'll get through it. We'll always get through it. So we will be back for the new moon in a couple of weeks' time. I think, yes, yeah. I was just thinking then, she's not still going to be sailing. No, she isn't. Gwen will be back. And we'll see you soon. If you've liked our videos, we have a whole playlist, and we do put a new video out every fortnight. So if you have liked what we've said, please subscribe, share the videos, pass the word on to friends. We'd love to be able to spread our interpretations out as far and wide as we can. Thank you. Take care, everyone. Bye.